Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 309 based on novel. So let's start. Just as Xiao Yan and others were climbing towards the sky-reaching stone steps, at the top of the sky-reaching stone steps, a statue of a slowly stood. The statue is lifelike and has a pleasant demeanor. On its body, a mysterious power slowly lingers. It is the statue of the Lord of Li Soul. At this time, not far from the statue, several figures were slowly standing. Is the Black Corpse King in the Black Corpse and the ghosts on the three sides of Guiyuan Ridge? After a short while, the figures of Tian Pluto and Zuamu also walked head-on. The guy from Yinhunshan, is it here too? After a while, the corner of the so-called Black Corpse King's mouth wriggled slightly, and then said in a very contemptuous tone. The Black Corpse King was enveloped by a black energy, but his steps were stiff, his body was blue, and his eyes were hollow. Looking closely, there seemed to be no anger on his body, just like dead ashes. Behind the Black Corpse King is a man. His body exudes a violent aura like a soul beast. The man's sturdy muscles show the extraordinary strength of this guy, and even the strength of this guy, it turned out to be reached the rare 4-star fighting immortal level. Sir, why don't you let me go down and meet these so-called heaven's favorites? At this time, the corners of the sturdy man's mouth couldn't help becoming hot. Although he was quite powerful, he was a soul and soul. Therefore, human blood has a fatal attraction to them. No hurry. The Black Corpse King waved his hand gently and signaled to go down. Immediately, the three-faced ghost beside him also smiled knowingly, and then there was a faint power of charm emerging between the eyebrows, and even the woman behind her had an extraordinary appearance and strength. Black Corpse King, three-faced ghost. After a while, Heavenly Pluto came directly to the two and smiled. The Black Corpse King, the three-faced ghosts are the masters of one plane, and their strength has reached the peak of the 6-star fighting immortal. As for the King of Heaven, although the strength is slightly weaker than the two of them, but because of his human identity and ghost, the peculiar nature of the sky has attracted the attention of the powerhouses in Li Soul realm, so even the two of them would not dare to do anything to the King of Heaven. Heaven Pluto, I haven't seen you for a long time. I don't know how the master of the plane is. And this kind of matter of transporting talents to Li Soul territory must be done by the master of the plane. Your plane master of Yinhunshan is like this, but he is a bit incompetent. The Black Corpse King said casually, but the sarcasm in his voice, but it was brilliantly performed. What the Black Corpse King said is very true, but the Lord of the Heavenly Plane of the Soul was sent to do other things by the powerhouses of Li Soul domain, so this kind of trivial matter can only be done by me. The warning in the text is obvious. Everyone, stay safe and don't be impatient. When the powerhouses of Yinhunshan break through the stone steps to the sky, we might as well go directly to the fourth courtyard. At that time, the three-faced ghosts also slowly walked up to persuade them. After a while, everyone also became quiet, but the violent figure of the Black Corpse Queen and the woman behind the three-faced ghost all showed extraordinary strength, reaching the level of 4-star fighting immortal. Above the sky-high stone steps. Damn! These stone steps that reach the sky are really not easy. Xiao Yang stepped on the stone steps step by step, and it was like a huge boulder pressing on Xiao Yang's body, which made Xiao Yang's complexion change. However, what made Xiao Yang even more strange was that as Xiao Yang advanced, the figure of Xiao Gui Duo Chifei who was beside him also slowly disappeared, as if this sky-reaching stone stair was only climbed by himself. A sense of desolation, spontaneously pregnancy. Wang buzzing. After a while, Xiao Yang felt his center of gravity unsteady, and he was stunned, almost stumbled, and fell. At this time, Xiao Yang had already climbed halfway up the mountain, but at the end of the sky-reaching stone steps, there were even how many stone steps there were. No one knew. The strange power of space and the power of chaos, the number of stone steps varies from person to person. Maybe it's endless, maybe it's just the few in front of you, and it's impossible to tell the specific situation. Hey! Xiao Yang's eyes became blurred in an instant, and then an azure blue light shot out from the chest, and then this ray of light suddenly turned into a shadow with long blue hair, and Chanyingdai his eyes slowly stared at Xiao Yang, and a wave of resentment spread out. Xiao Yang is already familiar with this beautiful image. It is Mu Yingying who has cultivated from holy flame to human being. Yingying. Xiao Yang was carrying thousands of pounds of gravity, and he continued to advance on the stone steps. When he saw this shadowy figure who was thinking about the night, his mouth slowly closed and he lost his voice. Xiao Yang. Zhonlan Qianying's voice was like 10,000 years of ice. Without any emotion, she said coldly. Yingying, are you okay? Xiao Yang also resisted the urge in his heart and muttered slowly. Am I okay? Don't you understand? My current result is all your fault. After a while, the azure blue shadow narrowed her eyes tightly, and then roared like a lunatic. I. Xiao Yang heard the words, suddenly dumbfounded, and lowered his head in shame. Brother Xiao Yang. Who is he? After a while, a shadow of 3,000 blue silk drooping down suddenly appeared beside the blue shadow. It is Zuna. It's just that Zunerdai frowned, and there was some anger between her brows. Who is she? And the azure blue shadow was not to be outdone, and shouted directly. Brother Xiao Yang, you don't want Zuna anymore. Zuna cried with tears in the corners of her eyes. The sky-reaching stone steps formed by the power of space and the power of chaos are indeed extraordinary, and they evoked this little guy's heart. It seems that Mu Yingying will not be resurrected. I am afraid it will affect his path to becoming a ***** in the future. At this time, the Soul Eater also said helplessly. After all, with the power of the Soul Eater and the mysterious identity of Xiao Yang, it is very possible to cultivate to the peak in the future, but now, if this matter is not resolved, I am afraid it will have a small impact on it in the future. This time, I will resurrect you, and, Zuna, wait for me. When I revive Mu Yingying, I'll go look for you. This time, we will definitely not be separated. In an instant, a surging vindictive aura swept out from Xiao Yang's body, and then easily destroyed the second group of energy bodies in an instant, and in an instant, Xiao Yang his pace also became agile, and then he moved quickly. In a short moment, he saw the end of the sky-high stone step. Are these little guys finally here? When the king of Pluto, who was standing under the statue, saw this, he was relieved to smile. After all, the stone steps to the sky are the only way for every strong person to enter the Li Soul realm, even if it is them. Guys, I have no right to interfere, but now, all 11 people have passed, which makes heavenly Pluto quite happy. Oh, this little guy with a heavy ruler on his back seems to have something extraordinary. But the three-faced ghostly beautiful eyes couldn't help exclaiming when they saw Xiao Yang. Finally, is it here? Suddenly, watching the 11 people from Yanhunshan come to the top of the Tongtian stone steps one after another, the Black Corpse King's eyes suddenly became hot. At the top, here is a rather vast flat ground. There are no decorations on the flat ground. There is only a statue of the Lord of the Soul standing here. The middle stage of the 3-star fighting immortals? Suddenly, the sturdy figure beside the Black Corpse King stared at Xiao Yang and lost his voice. This guy has a heavy ruler on his back, but his eyes are full of chills, and even the breath that permeates his whole body is actually more uneasy than his 3-star fighting spirit. Since everyone has arrived, let's go. I believe that the powerhouses of the 4 great courts have been waiting for us for a long time. As soon as the voice fell, the king of Pluto laughed and immediately prepared to move. Hey, wait a minute. I have long heard that there are many people in the heavenly soul, and there are many geniuses. When I see it now, it is a bit unreal. After a while, the Black Corpse will sneer. Obviously, he is aware of Xiao Yang's extraordinary strength and nature. He, who is addicted to war, naturally does not want to miss such a great opportunity. The Black Corpse General is the Black Corpse King who was selected from the countless powerhouses in their Black Corpse room, and then slaughtered other powerhouses along the way, and only after winning the victory was sent to Li Soul Realm. He is also the most tyrannical and guy. His strength has already reached the initial stage of 4-star fighting immortals. This guy is so tyrannical, and the power on his body is probably also a guy who walks on the edge of life and death all year round. Heiju on the side couldn't help but said, obviously even if he is about to break through the 4-star Dozian strength, facing this Black Corpse General is also full of taboos. Black Corpse King, what are you doing? Seeing this, Zhuemu frowned, and then stood directly in front of the 11 people to protect them. After all, in any case, although the human identities of these 11 people are rare, their strength is only Samsung Dozian is complete, and this kind of strength is naturally quite difficult to face the Black Corpse General. Zhuemu, you don't have the right to speak here. Also, the disciples here are all strong people who went to Li Soul Realm to enter the 4 great courts. If they don't even have the strength to accept the challenge, then if they join the 4 great courts in the future, I am afraid they will also lose the 4 great courts. It's just a face. The Black Corpse King said word by word, the sharpness between his words. Oh, I don't know what the Black Corpse King's opinion is. At that time, the Underworld King stopped Zhuemu and laughed. Simple. Since you have 11 people, you can play any one person and fight against the Black Corpse. If you win, it's enough to show that your Yanhunshan's strength is extraordinary. If you lose, I'm afraid your fertile territory of Yanhunshan is just a false name. The Black Corpse King sneered. This guy really didn't have any good intentions. Hearing the Black Corpse King's words, Tien Pluto sneered. This Black Corpse King played a good calculus. In this case, no matter whether the Black Corpse wins or loses, it will not cause them any harm. What a loss! If they avoided the fight without fighting, they would be timid. I don't know, King Pluto, what's the idea? After a few breaths, the Black Corpse King opened his mouth. Now that the Lord of the Plane of Soul Heaven is not there, he can naturally ridicule them. I have heard that the powerhouses in the Black Corpse are very powerful. Today's younger generation also wants to compete with the powerhouses in the Black Corpse. I also hope that Lord Pluto can satisfy the disciples' wish. After a while, Xiao Yan also smiled. When he arrived at the side of Pluto, he smiled. Of the 11 of them, being able to stand out from the demon suppression prison is naturally rewarded, but this reward is distributed directly after entering the 4 great courts. But even so, facing the oppression of the Black Corpse General, Xiao Yang was not afraid and sneered. If that's the case, then let's fight. As soon as the voice fell, everyone suddenly retreated, and a large area was drawn for Xiao Yang and the two to fight. The soul body of violent aura. Xiao Yang and He Zhe will fight against each other, and the two of them did not make a rash move, but looked at each other coldly. The strength of the middle stage of the 3-star fighting immortal can actually make me feel some heart palpitations. It seems that there should be some treasure in you. The Black Corpse lingered the ghostly energy on the body, and countless gloomy auras permeated out. Stop talking nonsense, let's do it. I hope your strength is as arrogant as your mouth. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, a dazzling flame suddenly emerged, which actually raised the temperature in the entire space a lot. Fire attribute. Seeing such a tyrannical fire attribute on Xiao Yang's body, the Black Corpse snorted coldly, and then his eyes became vigilant, and an aura of strange power also emerged. Pick me up. 7th layer of breaking the sky. After a while, the ancient ruler of different fires behind Xiao Yang was removed, and the dazzling flames blessed him, and immediately attacked the Black Corp. Just started, naturally he didn't do his best, and the power of the 7th layer breaking sky ruler is also not bad, just can use its power to explore the strength of the Black Corpse General 4-star fighting immortal. Such a weak attack. You are too embarrassed to take it out? Black Corpse with hand. After a few breaths, the Black Corpse General's pupils shrank tightly, and suddenly a dazzling ghostly energy accompanied by a burst of blood-colored energy suddenly emerged from his body, and suddenly a gloomy and energy the palm of the hand burst out. When this energy palm emerged, it turned the energy in this space into agitation. Obviously, the strength of this Black Corpse in the early stage of the 4-star fighting immortal is extraordinary. This guy is such a tyrannical force. Seeing this, Xiao Yang saw that the 7-fold sky-shattering Kai Orn suddenly disappeared on the Black Corpse's hand. Destroying Xiao Yang's 7-layered sky-shattering ruler, the Black Corpse's hand attack in the palm of the Black Corpse increased rather than decreased, and the dazzling and fierce aura spread out, and it was vaguely that Xiao Yang's breathing became dignified. The guy who was able to win the victory from the brutal Black Corpse and sent Li Huanyu to join the 4th Academy really has some skills. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, the contempt on the corner of his mouth also turned into a solemn one. The 3rd finger of the sky. Breaking the mountains and rivers. In an instant, Xiao Yang's pupils became sharp, his fingertips were gently lifted, and he would suddenly point at the Black Corpse that was attacking from the front. At that time, the dazzling energy fluctuations in Xiao Yang's body and the energy of heaven and earth all over his body suddenly became restless, and then under the gaze of the Black Corpse General, they poured into Xiao Yang's fingertips continuously. This guy, the strength of the middle stage of Samsung Dozian, can actually display such a tyrannical attack? But the woman who had been hiding behind the 3-sided ghost slowly covered the corner of her mouth with a jade hand and lost her voice. Break it for me. In an instant, the 3rd finger of the sky was condensed directly, and then with a fierce light, he whistled away the dark and energy palm towards the Black Corpse. Immediately, the dazzling flame fingers passed through the gloomy energy palm easily, and then suddenly attacked the Black Corpse, but when the dazzling flame fingers just passed through the energy palm, it was also covered with a lot of sinister power. The Black Corpse's body suddenly exploded like a gorgeous firework. Until this moment, the faces of the many powerhouses present, except for Heavenly Pluto, other powerhouses, and disciples gradually became ugly. Who would have thought that the guy in the middle stage of the 3-star Dozian who seemed to be the weakest would actually be able to tie the Black Corpse in the early 4-star Dozian stage, the strongest among the disciple? I don't know what your excellency thinks. Seeing that his attack and the attack of the Black Corpse General were instantly extinguished, Xiao Yang didn't rush to make a move, but said with a hint of gentleness on the corner of his mouth. Xiao Yan knew that it would be extremely difficult to easily defeat the Black Corpse with his current strength in the middle stage of the 3 starfighting immortals. However, the warning just now was very obvious. If the Black Corpse was ignorant, Xiao Yan could only waste some time. Make this guy suffer. Sir, please let me fight him thoroughly. The Black Corpse general seemed to be provoked, his violent aura was undoubtedly on display, and he clasped his fists and shouted at the Black Corpse king. Forget it, when you join the 4 courtyards, you will have a lot of opportunities to compete. Don't be in a hurry, let's go, you can't let the recipients of the 4 courtyards wait for us for too long. After a while, the Black Corpse king's eyes were also moved away from Xiao Yang. He knew that this Xiao Yang could come here with the strength of the middle stage of the 3 starfighting immortal. In addition to the short battle with the Black Corpse general, this guy is definitely the most terrifying among the 11 people. One of them, and the current priority, is to join the 4 great courts first. Naturally, there is no need to tear up the face. Moreover, the king of Pluto is covetous, there is no need to disturb the relationship between them for these trivial matters, otherwise once the Lord of the Soul is to blame, that kind of anger is not something that their strength can bear. If that's the case, then let's go. After everyone finished speaking, they also escorted their disciples into a beam of light, and then went directly to the inside of the statue. This statue is actually a gate of space. Xiao Yang was also surprised when he saw the Black Corpse king and the 3-faced ghost leaving. The heaven-reaching stone steps. Every strong person who enters the Li Soul realm will be guided by the heaven-reaching stone steps, and then come to pray under the statue of the Lord of the Li Soul, and there is a very small chance that prayers will be accepted. The powerhouses of the 4 courtyards were discovered and earned under the sect. However, this is only a corner of Li Soul domain. Only through the statues, one can enter the territory of the 4 great courts. It is only the power of the statues, and only some plane masters know the method. Let's go. I saw the powerhouses of the 4 major courtyards in a while. Which courtyard do you want to join? Just act according to the opportunity. After the King of Heaven said, he also turned into a beam of light, and then enveloped the crowd, leading them into the statues and heading to the 4 courtyards. Compound. Duan Chifei was also a little sad, and even Xiao Gui looked in a trance, as if he had been to this Li Soul realm long ago, but his memory was limited and it was quite painful. At this time, in the central area of the 4 academies in Li Soul territory, several strong people have been waiting for a long time, and they are the receivers who are responsible for attracting the 3 plane disciples to join the 4 academies this time. Li Soul territory rules thousands of continents, and every once in a while, the master of the planes in the lower realm will send some fresh blood with extraordinary talents to Li Soul territory. As a reward, the selected outstanding disciples, Li the Lord of Souls will bestow some benefits on these unavoidable lords. And these arrogant sons joined the 4 great courts and were taught by the powerhouses, becoming a powerhouse and then being transported to the lower realm to manage the planes on the continent. In this cycle, this soul realm is also eternal. In the center of Li Huanyu, above a pavilion, 5 figures stand slowly. This pavilion is the habitat of every recipient. Of course, this time is no exception. Hey, the old ghost of Earth Spirit, this time it was you who came to represent your Earth Spirit Academy. It seems that your Academy Master is quite concerned about the fresh blood this time. Among the 5 figures, one, the white-haired old man, suddenly took a sip of the wine gourd in his hand, then opened his mouth and said, looking at a calm old man in front of him, "Your court sent you here. Isn't it inevitable that you will get fresh blood this time?" The white-haired old man glanced at the guy holding the wine gourd and said softly, "He, Soul Talisman of Soul Court and Yuan Xiao of Judgment Court. It seems that the 4 great courts came prepared this time." After a short while, the drinking old man glanced at the other 2 and immediately laughed. Soul Academy Soul Talisman, it is said that this guy's strength is an upright 6-star fighting immortal, and his status in the Soul Academy is also very high. Many confidential research is done by him, and he is very popular with the Master of the Soul. So come today, I am afraid that there are other plans. Yuan Xiao of the Court of Judgment, this guy is said to be extremely powerful, and he has a lot of troops in his hand. The old man holding the wine gourd, named Ju Qi, is said to be the one who has the right to speak in the Court of Justice. The old ghost of the Earth Spirit, this guy is a nominal headmaster in the Earth Spirit Academy. His strength and status are undoubtedly more powerful than the other 3, but because of his free and easy nature, he travels around the world, so his status is slightly low. Wong buzzing. After a short while, the space around the pavilion vibrated violently, and then a soldier in armor stepped out. As the soldier stepped out, a desolate and dignified aura emerged from the pavilion. Even the soldier had black armor covering his entire body. On the black armor, there were countless squirming black lines, which set off his aura. It is extremely sinister and tyrannical. Even the atmosphere of the four present is not so tyrannical. This is the Li Soul Guard of the Lord of Li Soul. After a while, Juqi took the lead and opened the mouth and said the breath of the little liar and the armored soldier made him familiar. The so-called Li Hunwei is extremely powerful, but there are only a few hundred people, but all of them are kings among the leaders. They live in the temple of the Lord of the Soul, and serve the Lord of the Soul exclusively. They are also the guards under the Lord of Li Soul. As for the one who appeared in front of them, it could be known from the pattern on the armor alone. This guy is probably one of the best among the soul guards. I didn't know the general was coming. After a while, the old ghost of Earth spirit frowned and said, "For lords, under the order of the Lord of Li Soul, come here to pick up one person, and will not interfere with the four lords absorbing fresh blood, so everyone, don't panic." The armored man stood straight and his voice was unusually loud. "The way, the polite way. This guy." Master Li Soul is still reluctant to let her go. Hearing the soldier's majestic voice, the other four strong men also muttered slowly in their hearts. Obviously, the purpose of their trip was to be with the guy. Exactly the same, but now that the Lord of Li Soul has an order, I am afraid they have to give up. However, when they thought of the reincarnation rune on the woman's body, their hearts were itching. After all, they were able to bring in the reincarnation, and the strength of their courtyard in the future could be said to be rising. Wang buzzing. At this time, Xiao Yang's group, led by the three strong men, slowly penetrated the void and came here. Crash. The group slowly came to the pavilion, and immediately looked at the 5 powerhouses in front of them, and the 3 powerhouses, mainly the Black Corpse King, said respectfully. These powerhouses in front of them are all heads and faces in the 4 courtyards, and they are even more peculiar geese. They are all human bodies, without any soul body. Even if they are the masters of their planes, they should be called respectfully. What they didn't expect was that the receiver who accepted the disciple this time actually sent these 5 powerhouses. These 5 powerhouses, even with the experience of the heavenly Pluto Black Corpse King and the 3-faced ghost, only know 1 or 2 of them. As for the other powerhouses, their strength and status are even more powerful. Such a lineup can be described as a bit appalling. What a huge lineup. Xiao Yang murmured slightly in his heart, but when his eyes saw Du Chifei, he trembled abruptly, and then saw the dodging gaze in Duan Chifei's eyes, also understand something. Big brother, these guys are very strong. Xiao Gui frowned at Xiao Yang and said, "It seems that among the 5 people, the guy wrapped in armor turned out to be frightening to Xiao Gui. Don't worry, I'm here." Xiao Yang naturally had a panoramic view of this extremely subtle scene, but Xiao Yang knew in his heart that the so-called Li Soul Guard, the personal guard of the so-called Li Soul Lord, might be the same. Xiao Gui's life experience is inextricably linked. Finally here. After a short while, watching the 3 of the Black Corpse Kings slowly come towards the pavilion, the 5 strong men in the pavilion suddenly cast their gazes towards them, and where their gazes gathered, unexpectedly it was Du Chifei's body. This girl, is that the legendary reincarnator? The 5 people just saw Du Chifei, and their hearts were shocked, but they didn't show it, just smiled, obviously before they came here. That is, he has already obtained Du Chifei's identity as a reincarnation person, but he does not know that she is the reincarnation of the Thunder Lord, otherwise this Du Chifei will become a real hot potato. After all, even if the secrecy methods of the people in Heaven and Pluto are well done, they cannot escape the intelligence of these 4 major courtyards. 5 adults, the Black Corpse General Black Corpse King. This person is the Black Corpse General in our Black Corpse room, and is already the strength of the 4-star fighting immortal in the initial stage. With the strength of one person, he will kill all the other contestants, regardless of strength. It's still the best choice to join the court of adjudication. The Black Corpse King Pei Xiao explained. Hearing the Black Corpse King's explanation, Yuan Xiao of the Judgment Court nodded slightly and smiled, but his gaze was still fixed on the girl quietly standing in the crowd. These guys, why? The next moment, Sun Yen Guimai also noticed that the eyes of these 5 powerhouses were not right, and immediately followed their eyes, and immediately found that their eyes were facing Du Chifei. I might have to leave. Duan Chifei seemed to have expected this scene long ago, without any panic at all, but her eyes slowly stared at Xiao Yang and smiled sweetly. Take care of yourself. If you need anything, just speak up. I will spend a lot of time in the Earth Spirit Academy. Xiao Yang was silent for a while, and then said, there was a parting meaning in his voice. Next time we meet again, I'll be better than you. Duan Chifei also smiled slowly, and then slowly walked over to the armored soul guard Li. "Let's go, senior." The understated voice seemed to be filled with a girl's free and easy, and a trace of reluctance. "Say goodbye today, don't know when we will see each other again." Li Hunwei didn't interfere too much. On his body, black lines of strange power appeared, so he gently entangled himself and Duo Chifei's body, and then waved his hand. The space collapsed instantly, two at the same time. People stepped directly into it and disappeared. "Big brother, are you alright?" Seeing Duo Chifei leave like this, Xiao Yang also felt a trace of sadness in his heart, but it was just a nostalgia for his partner and had no other meaning. This Duo Chifei seems to have something to do with the Lord of Soul Li, so he can send Commander Li Soulguard to come and lead him. With the disappearance of Duo Chifei, the Lord of Soul Eater also muttered abruptly to himself. "This kind of thing really can't escape the eyes of the Lord of the Soul." That's all. After a while, the other four strong men also looked at each other, and then said, "Since the matter has come to this, let's start selecting disciples. I see that among these disciples, there are also some people with extraordinary talents." At this time, Juqi also said, "Let's start. This time, let us come first." As soon as he finished speaking, Jiang Zhong from the Soul Court walked up slowly. This guy has such a tyrannical soul power, and his soul power is probably the most tyrannical among these people. Xiao Yang's group consisted of 12 people, lined up, and Jiang Zhong's eyes blurred slowly from them. He walked in front of him, walked back and forth, and immediately returned to his original position. "Little fellows, I'm Jiang Zhong from the Soul Academy. In our Soul Academy, we major in soul power and assist the master of Li Soul to study some soul techniques. Join us, and our future achievements will be limitless." Jiang Zhong stared at everyone, spoke slowly, with a trace of calmness in their voices. Can I join you?" After a while, the 12 did not move, but the woman who followed the three-faced ghost slowly opened her mouth with fiery eyes. "Okay. What do you guys think?" Seeing the easy acceptance of a female disciple, Jiang Zhong smiled slowly. Although their soul courtyard is slanted, it also has unlimited potential. However, every time it absorbs fresh blood in the past, there are hardly any strong people to join. Should be gone. Just be content. After a while, seeing that the remaining 11 people didn't make a sound, the old ghost of Earth Spirit walked up and said, "Alas." Jiang Zhong glanced helplessly, then took the woman aside. "I am the old ghost of the Earth Spirit of the Earth Spirit Academy. If you are interested, you can join us. Here, you will get the best teaching, the best experience, and if you have enough opportunities in the future, you can also become the right arm of the Lord of Souls." The old ghost of the Earth Spirit said rather lazily, "After all this time, the purpose is only for reincarnations. As for these disciples, they are not very interested, but they still open their mouths in order to walk through the process. I joined the Earth Spirit Academy. I'll join too." Xiao Yang and Xiao Gui's voices rang out as the voice of the old Earth Spirit fell. "Oh, you two little fellows seem to be very interesting." For some unknown reason, a tremor emerged from Xiao Yang's body when the old ghost of the Earth Spirit stared at him like this. "Since the two of them are willing to join your Earth Spirit Academy, why don't you bring them back soon?" The Earth Spirit old ghost. After Shurenshi, Yuan Xiao snorted coldly. "If that's the case, then let's take a step forward." The old ghost of Earth Spirit didn't bother to stay here any longer. Land. Earth Spirit Academy. I hope these two little guys can shine. Seeing Xiao Yang and Xiao Gui joining the Earth Spirit Academy, the two kings of heaven and Hades also laughed slowly. "Wait, what kind of fluctuation is that? Holy flame! Well, you are an old ghost of the Earth Spirit, deliberately mad at me." In an instant, in the void where the three old ghosts of the Earth Spirit disappeared, a rare earth-colored fluctuation appeared. In this fluctuation, there was a frightening feeling. The power is the holy flame. In Li Soul domain, because of its detached status, there is no too tyrannical imprisonment, so whether it is human or ghost soul, there is not much difference. As long as there is enough strength, it is able to be in the strong. The cloud region has its own place. Crash. After a while, Xiao Yang and the two just reacted when they appeared in a group of mountains. In the mountains, surrounded by lush vegetation, a vibrant aura flooded in, and even the suppressed wood-type bucket core in Xiao Yang's body erupted with a rather greedy wave. "This lord." Xiao Yang looked at the Xiao Gui beside him who was still sleeping, barely opened his eyes, then looked at the white-haired old man beside him, and said, he just remembered that because of the strong spatial fluctuation, he let them. The two were temporarily unconscious. When this old ghost of the Earth Spirit was exploring their bodies, Xiao Yang's holy flame was discovered by this guy, so that in the end, this old man actually motivated the holy flame in his body, the purpose of which was probably to anger that Ju Qi. Awake! The old man lay lazily on the stone, and when he heard Xiao Yang's voice, he immediately sat up. Do you know where this place is? Asked the old ghost of Earth Spirit. I don't know, Xiao Yang said. This is the Earth Spirit Mountains. And the Earth Spirit Academy, where we live and practice, stands in a realm at the top of the mountain. After a while, the Earth Spirit old ghost said, his eyes slowly staring at the top of the mountains, where the mountain above the top, clouds and mists lingered, and even a trace of the strong breath permeated out. Earth Spirit Academy is actually in the void on the top of the mountain. Xiao Yang heard the words, and immediately turned his eyes to look around, only to see almost continuous mountains and huge mountain ranges. Earth Spirit Mountains, this is a place where the energy of heaven and earth is extremely strong. At the same time, because the Earth Spirit Academy serves the entire Lizhan realm, there are an endless stream of creatures coming to climb the mountain every day. The road to climb is full of twists and turns, but if you successfully climb the mountain and enter the Earth Spiritual Academy, you will be able to immediately gain some appreciation from the teachings, and maybe you will be able to join it. And the Earth Spirit Academy is located in a void on the top of the Earth Spirit mountain range. It is a realm opened up by the 7-star Dozian powerhouse alone. The realm is vast and boundless, with many cultivation resources and trials. The land is also the end point for you this time. The old ghost of the Earth Spirit said slowly. Let's go. The guy who entered the Earth Spirit Academy naturally doesn't need to climb. As soon as he finished speaking, with a wave of his hand, he directly wrapped Xiao Yang and Xiao Gui's bodies, turned into a beam of light, and suddenly moved towards the Earth Spirit Mountains. Top of the realm away. Crackling. As Xiao Yang and the others just disappeared, a man with a withered complexion slowly emerged from the place where Xiao Yang and the others had stayed. I'm afraid these guys are the powerhouses of the Earth Spirit Academy. They are really tyrannical fluctuations, but I believe that I will be able to successfully climb the mountain range and enter the Earth Spirit Academy. Go to the top of the mountain. This man is weak, but he also possesses the strength of a 3-star fighting immortal. In addition to his thin body, it is quite worrying whether this guy can succeed in the end. The Diling Mountains are surrounded by mountains, and the trails between the mountains are dazzling. There are people entering everywhere, and all of them are heading towards the top of the Diling Mountains. It is said that the top of the Diling Mountains has the entrance to the Diling Courtyard. They almost came from the lower realm and were not directly introduced by the Master of the Plane, so they could only use this most primitive method to try to join the Earth Spirit Academy. And just as Xiao Yang and the others were heading towards the boundary of the Earth Spirit Academy, there was an ethereal space in the center of Li Sol domain, in the shrine of the Lord of Li Sol. Lord, the person you named has brought it back to you. After a while, in a simple hall, Li Hunwei, who was wriggling in the void and wrapped in the texture of the armor, slowly opened his mouth, facing the black body hidden in front of him. The man under the robe respectfully said. This man, the insipid fluctuations on his body made the whole world eclipsed. This guy is the overlord of Li Sol territory today, the Lord of Li Sol. Let's go down. The master of the black robe Li Sol opened his mouth slightly, and suddenly, under the black robe, a palm surrounded by countless black lines slowly stretched out and swayed. Yes. As soon as he finished speaking, Li Hunwei also slowly left, leaving only Duo Chifei and the master of Li Hun. Feia. In an instant, Master Li took off the black robe, revealing a somewhat illusory body, and immediately said to Du Chifei, I. Duo Chifei seemed to have known it for a long time, and immediately shook his head slightly. Feia, this is your home, you don't have to be restrained. After the Lord Li Hun finished speaking, he was overjoyed immediately, because with his strength close to the peak, he could easily detect the reincarnation pattern on Du Chifei's forehead. The power emanating from the reincarnation pattern is more powerful than ordinary reincarnation, and there are countless thunderous sounds faintly, so it is natural to know that this is the reincarnation of the Thunder Master. I'm sorry for your mother, but this time, I will protect you from others. And soon, Li Huanyu will be completely handed over to you, which can be regarded as a kind of compensation for your mother. After hesitating for a while, Lord Li Huanyu spoke slowly. No. I just want to stay here quietly. Unless I have to, I won't take action. Duan Chi Fei Dai's eyes slowly flickered, and he said. Obviously, there are some fluctuations in the origin of the master of Li Sol and his mother. I think they are also related by blood, and this kind of thing. Duo Chifei has also been inspired by the power of reincarnation in advance, and he knows from it, so he also treats his father. She kept it a secret, because she didn't want Duan Tianhong to worry. At the beginning of the chaos in Li Huanyu, Your mother took advantage of the chaos and ran out. After I put Li Huanyu to rest, I couldn't find her. It wasn't until she fell decades ago that she left a trace of your breath, and I didn't realize it. Li Hun said sadly. Needless to say, I know. Duo Chifei shook his head slowly, but he didn't want to listen to these words, so he shook his head and said, after all, how could the master of the strong soul domain give up the entire region for his mother? Then I'm leaving. As soon as the voice fell, in the hall, the body of Lord Li's soul suddenly disappeared, leaving only Du Chifei alone. At this moment, Du Chifei stood slightly, her eyes flickered, and the reincarnation pattern at the center of her eyebrows exuded a majestic aura. Lord Thunder, why don't you want to wake up with such a tyrannical power and regain control? Reincarnator. Even if you give me all of these powers, I'm afraid I won't become the Zeon of the Great Thousand World, because I just want to be an ordinary woman, have someone you like, and set up a small family. There was a hint of desolation in the voice, which instantly reverberated throughout the hall. Duo Chifei knows that as a reincarnator, she possesses all the power of the Thunderlord, but the power of the Thunderlord resides in the reincarnation. This power. And what surprised Du Chifei the most was that the source of the Thunder Lord hidden in the reincarnation seemed to have some disgust for Xiao Yang and Xiao Gui from the bottom of his heart. The Xiao clan are in conflict with each other. In an instant, the source of the Thunder Lord in the reincarnation seemed to be provoked, and a violent and murderous aura emerged. When Duo Chifei saw this, she also slowly shook her head, but she knew that with the awakening of the power of reincarnation, her power would also rise steadily, and even the memories of the Thunder Lord would slowly pour into her mind. It's just that after the success of this reincarnation, whether she is the Thunder Lord or Du Chifei, I am afraid she does not know, and the origin of the Thunder Lord living in the reincarnation also indicates that the peak powerhouse of the Great Thousand World, perhaps will be reborn. This video will end here.